So, hello to everyone. I'm hoping it's fine with everyone. We'll start this international webinar at the design time at 10 a.m. while we are waiting for a few more participants to join.
Start. It's already 10.
Okay, so greetings to all. We appreciate your attendance here today. So let's quick start this session with this great quotation. Success is working from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm. A very good morning to all our guests and dignitaries. In this capacity as your host for this worldwide webinar on World Life Play with Better People, Maria, I would like to take this opportunity to extend a hearty greetings to each and every one of you. It gives me a great pleasure to extend a warm hello to each and everyone here gathering here with us today. It's a huge honor for us to have someone of this caliber here whose involvement on these topics adds so much value on it. So work acts as a training opportunity to develop and improve social skills and development friendly supportive friendship. This support provided by co-workers can change someone's life experience from one isolation to one of feeling part of a community or also a family. Before I proceed further, let me take this brief moment for introduce my organization. So, SEMS Welfare Foundation is a non-profit organization. It's dedicated to social impact across the world and also for various sectors. We focus on education, particularly skill development, through workshops and stories of successful female entrepreneurs. SEMS welfare is particularly skill development and entrepreneurship. Through our dignitaries digital scam, we have created training programs in IT, finance, retail, and entrepreneurship, impacting over 6,000 individuals. We are currently upskills in humanity, in humanities, and collaborating with universities and colleges. We have also partnered with banks to place over 1,500 candidates for jobs. Female Leads is another initiative of SEMS Welfare, which empowers women to workshop in societal of successful female entrepreneurship. We conduct programs on digital literacy, marketing, career development, and reaching over 1,000 women across multiple states. This initiative recently reached a milestone of 100 women actively involved. In just a short time, SEMS has established itself as a force for positive change, equipped individuals with skills for employment and promoting women leadership in various industries. Now, let me take this great opportunity and wonderful session to previously present and welcome Jasmine Chambria ma'am. So Jasmine Chambria ma'am has a sought after speakers and leading training in areas of professional development, motivational, and team building. She trains corporate leaders, empowering teams to build powerful personalities. She worked with leaders of Fortune's company like About Pharmaceuticals, Uber, MC Donald's, and many more. So today she's here with SEMS Welfare to share how someone can move from a non-being confident to self-confident through very practical technique, no jargon. And she assured us that after this session, after this talk, we will feel way more equipped, hungry, and confident to achieve our goals. So please welcome our speaker, Jasmine Chambria. And there are many gems and diamonds in the world, and one of them is here today to help us build this event. With this note, I, Maria, on behalf of SEMS Welfare Foundation, would like to give a hard welcome to Jasmine Chambria, ma'am, with a huge round of applause for joining us here today. So please, President has added to a significance of this event, and we are genuinely honored to have you here today, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Maria. Thanks, SEMS Welfare. And hello, everyone. How is everybody doing? I cannot see your faces, so please turn on your cameras and let me know how are you doing. Are you doing good? Maybe you're doing bad. It's completely okay. I always say that you might be doing good right now. You might be feeling bad. It's okay. But what we can do together is just curve up our lips and put on a smile, right? It's free of cost. We just feel better and let's up the energy. So turn on your cameras, guys, and put on those smiles. I can see an amazing smile from Rimpa, Maria, Priya. Come on, where's everybody else? Come on, we're trying to do some positive change. So let's start with smiling. Okay, Nikit, like that. Okay, I'm liking how slowly we're getting into a smile. All right, cool. So, see, before I begin, okay, I want you to simply think of one person who you don't get along with, but that person is important to you. Okay, a person whom you don't get along with but is important in your day-to-day life. I like to call that person X. Okay, so take a moment, think about somebody. When I do these sessions, workshops, I sometimes get anonymous answers. People sometimes tell me their boss, sometimes a colleague at work, sometimes a classmate, sometimes a relative, a family member. Okay, so have you thought of a person X? You can chat yes or no. You need not reveal that person's name who you don't get along with, but is important in your day-to-day life. Yeah. Some of you are giving that sly smile. Okay, I think you'll have thought of somebody, right? All right, cool. So today's session is all about dealing with people who are important in our day-to-day life, but for some reason we don't have a great bond with them. Okay, now see, if you've come on planet Earth, you have to deal with three tricky things. Okay, the moment you enter planet Earth, no matter whoever you are, whatever you do, whatever your profession is, you have to deal with three tricky things. One is the weather. Okay, sometimes it's going to be really hot. You have to deal with it, find techniques to keep yourself cool, or vice versa. The second is money. You have to deal with it. You have to find techniques to make more money, save more, invest more. And the third is people. We cannot avoid people because we've come to planet Earth. We have to deal with them. We have to interact with them. So right from people at our workplace or people at our place of study, people in our family, people in our building. Even when you take a cab from Uber, you have to sometimes speak to the driver. If you go to the supermarket, you have to speak to the person who's at the cash counter. Or even if you're purchasing things online, sometimes the order is missing and you need to speak to the customer care representative. In fact, from the time you woke up today morning, how many people did you have to interact with? Be it through social media, through WhatsApp, or in person. So what I'm trying to say is that if we learn how to deal with people in a better fashion, we have a better chance at forming better bonds, better relationships, and that will really keep our stress levels less in life, right? Because life is all about dealing with people. Right now, we are dealing with each other, we're interacting with each other. All right. So what I essentially do is I conduct a lot of team building workshops for leading companies. And I show them how they can take a group of people and make them work like a team. Okay, which is essentially if you have thought of a person X who is important in your day-to-day life, but you're not seeming to get along well with them, how you can make the best efforts to convert that into a team and hopefully have a better bond with them, a better relationship. So life becomes easier for you. All right. So what I'm going to do in this talk is I'm going to be sharing some strategies and I want you to see, can you implement these strategies to person X? Okay. Because I really want you to have a good bond with that person. Cool? Ready? Let's make this like an experiment. Okay. So again, I'm asking you, I hope you have thought of a person X. It can be anybody, maybe somebody at work, somebody in your school, somebody in your family, somebody in your building. All right. Cool. So the first thing I want to share is that you need to be ready to go from me to we. Now, this is not as simple as just flipping the M into W. It needs a little more work. Okay. What kind of work? Now, I'll tell you a story. There was this engineer, okay, who conducted a competition. What was this competition about? He told people that build a tall tower and whoever builds the tallest tower wins. And how are you going to build that tall tower? I'll give you 4 things. One is spaghetti, okay, some tape, some string, and some marshmallow. Build a tall tower and the marshmallow should come on top, and just use these things. Okay, so he went to different groups of people. He went to graduates who were from business school, amazing academic degrees, all of them had. And he said, see if you can build a tall tower. Another group of people he took was graduates from kindergarten. Literally, they were kids, babies, right? So who do you think won? Who do you think made the tallest tower using spaghetti marshmallows? Can you guess? You can type it out in the chat box. Did graduates from business school win, or did graduates from kindergarten? Any guesses? Who won the competition? You can chat and say, okay, I will reveal to you. It was actually the babies. Oh, you're right, Rimpa. Totally right. The babies, the graduates from kindergarten, they won. And that sounds a little surprising, right? Like, how come? So what happened was essentially the graduates from business school, when they had to do that task, they were playing a status game, which was they were trying to tell each other how smart they individually are, how intellectual they are, because they have amazing academic degrees. So they did not collaborate. In technical terms, the word is collaborate as a team. Whereas the children, they were just focused on getting that marshmallow on top. That was the task. And they were like, how can we do this together? So everyone gave different ideas. Sometimes the spaghetti fell, but finally they managed to build a really tall tower because their eyes and mind were on the goal, and they were really putting efforts to make the goal happen. Whereas the business school graduates were playing status games. They wanted individual fame and recognition, like, oh, I'm so smart, I have this idea, but they failed. So what I'm saying is, if you want to have a better bond with someone, you have to truly collaborate, which means keep your eyes and mind on the goal or the problem in hand. So think about person X again, okay? Maybe you'll work together, and are you playing status games with each other because you want to prove how smart you are? Or are your eyes and mind on the goal, the problem that you need to solve? Or maybe it's someone from your family. Maybe you're a couple. A lot of times people are like, I am doing so much as a partner. My partner is doing nothing, but I'm doing so much, right? So again, it's status games. We are going for individual fame, individual recognition. But instead, if you just focus on what is the problem at work or in your family, how can we together solve this? Let's collaborate. I'm good at this. You are good at something else. Great. Let's put it together. Okay. So the first thing is you have to be open to truly collaborating with people around you versus playing an individual status game. Even you might have the best academic degree, you might be super great, super experienced, but when you're dealing with people, you have to collaborate. There's this Bollywood movie, okay? It's called Chak De India. It has an amazing scene. Basically, it's about the Indian hockey team, okay? And they are playing a very important hockey match at an international level. And all eyes of the full, different countries are on that game. And all the players in this Indian hockey team are very, very talented. It's a girls' hockey team. All of them are amazing players. Now, what happens is one of the players needs to pass the ball to her co-player who is closer to the goal. You always pass the ball to the person who's closer to the goal in hockey and football. But she's like, if I can hit this goal, all the newspapers will carry headlines. I'll become so popular because this is such an important international match. So she doesn't pass the ball to her co-player who's actually closer to the goal. And she hits the goal. She hits the goal. Everybody in the stadium is cheering, and India has won the match. But their coach, he's very upset. He's very upset even though his team won the match. Why? Because his team did not collaborate. So he tells his team, you are talented players. You're one of the best players in the world. But you know what? You didn't collaborate. Maybe we won by fluke. Maybe we win once again by fluke with this technique, but not in the long run. If you want to win again and again and again, you have to work together as a team. Yeah, I think Rimpa has seen that movie. Yes, it has Shah Rukh Khan. Yes, okay. So again, go from me to we. Think of person X. Can you go from me to we? Can you try it? Okay. Now, the next thing when we need to work with people, deal with people is, I'm sure you have heard about this, where people say you have to actively listen to the other person. I'm sure you've heard about this, but I want to get a little, deeper into this concept. A lot of times when we are listening to somebody, we are already forming a reply in our mind. Like, I'm going to say this to person, and the opposite person hasn't even finished speaking whatever he or she is speaking, right? So the listening is when you listen for the sake of listening, not for the sake of replying. Hostage negotiators, basically there are people, if say someone's on a flight and there's someone on the flight and he takes all the passengers hostage, they bring in a hostage negotiator. It's a person who negotiates with the hostage taker and, hears their demands, and he's like, he or she is the mediator. So in that case, of course, the stakes are very high. Like, if you do something wrong, or, the demands are not met, they literally can kill the hostages. But the skill of active listening is something which is very, very, very important for hostage negotiators and also for people like us. I'll come to it, where you don't just listen to the words that a person is speaking, you actually catch their emotion. Okay, I'll tell you what. Sometimes, say you've gone to a bank, all right? You've just gone to a bank and you have some important work, and there's a long queue. You're waiting in the queue and time is running out, you have to head somewhere else. But what can you do? You have to wait. So the person, and you can try this technique, okay? The next time you go to the bank and there's a long queue, the person who's in charge, who you need to meet for some work of yours, is attending to so many customers, and that person sitting there is probably a little hassled, okay? So try to catch the emotion, not just what they're speaking. So some expressions on their face probably, which shows that they're a little tired or hassled. Now, when it's your turn, okay, greet them, good morning or good afternoon, and say something like, how are you doing? You look so busy. Now, when you acknowledge their emotion, yes, that person is very busy. It's like a ton of customers in their head, and half of the customers are fighting with that person. Acknowledge their emotion. Now, this person will feel really good and want to help you out. Okay, just try this the next time you're at a bank. Try it, greet them, acknowledge whatever emotion they're going through. If they're looking busy, tell them, oh, you're so busy today. Or if they're looking a little hassled, irritated, just say, I hope you're doing fine. You're attending to so many customers. Now, what research shows that when a person is even in their worst mood, okay, but if they receive a smile from you, there are more chances that they will respond to you and they will help you out. So in the case of the bank representative, she or he might actually give you some useful information that will take your work to the next step or help you out in getting your work done versus other customers. So you can form your responses only if you actively listen to not only people's words, but the emotion that they carry, right? So with person X, the next time you're talking to person X, don't just hear what they're saying. Try to sense their emotion. Are they feeling afraid about something? Are they feeling insecure? Are they feeling concerned about something which you have not probably sensed before? Because if you sense the right emotion, you'll be able to form your replies or what you say to that person better. And that's what I was talking about hostage negotiators, right? They sense not just the demand of the person who's taken the people hostage, they sense the emotion. Like once, there was a person who took the guard of a factory as a hostage. And the hostage negotiator learned that it was because this person would actually work in the factory, but he felt that this factory didn't abide by environmental laws, and this person really felt for the environment, so he was just angry and he took the guard as hostage. So the hostage negotiator could frame her words accordingly, her response, just by catching this emotion, right? So with person X, next time, catch not just their words, catch the emotion, right? Because then you can form your reply a little more better. Try it, okay? Now I want to tell you a short, nice story. It's about this lion and this mouse, all right? Now there was a forest, okay, where the only living species were this lion and this mouse. That's it, two living species. And there was this big hotel chain run by humans, and they wanted to build a resort. Okay, so they were like, this forest looks great. We'll do some negotiations with this lion and this mouse, and we'll go there and build a really good resort. Now, this lion and mouse were really smart also, and they were like, cool, the humans want to do a negotiation with us. I think it's a great time we can get some demands met. Demand number one, we want exclusive access to every resort, not just this resort that you're building, but all the resorts you have built in the world. We want an exclusive access to it. You will take care of flying us in a private jet there. And demand two is we want unlimited food supply. Wherever we live, you need to provide us unlimited food supply and the best kind of food that we like. Okay. So they were smart. They said, yes, we're meeting the humans tomorrow. We'll put these two demands in front of them. And yeah, life will be sorted. But the lion told the mouse, I am the king of the jungle. I'll do the talking. The mouse said, okay, fine, go ahead. Now the next day comes and the humans have come to meet them, negotiate with them, strike a good deal. Now, the lion wanted to also establish a good rapport. So he smiled. He smiled. But since he's a lion, it's in his DNA to be a lion. That smile came across like a loud roar, and the humans got scared. They just got up and ran away. And the lion was like, okay, we'll try tomorrow. The next day comes, the humans again come. They want to negotiate a good deal. But this time, they put metallic iron bars between themselves and the lion. And the lion, I mean, imagine you're trying to have a meeting with somebody and there are metallic iron bars. And it's really hard to establish rapport and speak. So the mouse tells the lion that, do you want me to speak to the humans? And the lion's like, no, I'm the king of the jungle. I'll do the talking. The mouse is like, okay, go ahead. So the lion's like, what if I start with a joke? Maybe the humans feel a little less scared of me. So he cracks a joke and he laughs. Now, again, he's a lion. It's in his DNA. The laugh also comes across like a loud and huge roar. Humans get scared, run away, couldn't speak about the deal. Now, the humans are like, we'll come again tomorrow. So the mouse tells the lion that, I think they're just scared of you because you're a lion. I mean, it's in your DNA. I know you're trying to be nice to them, but everything you're doing is coming across like a loud and huge roar. Can I speak tomorrow to them? I'm calm. I sound like so soft. They'll be comfortable. But the lion's like, no, I am the king of the jungle. I will do the talking. Now the final day has come. The humans have come to meet the lion and the mouse. And this time the humans come with guns. And the lion gets really angry. He's just angry. The humans are just trying to protect themselves. They've come with guns. The lion is like angry. And again, his anger comes across like loud and huge roar. And the humans are like, we don't want to deal with them. We'll go and search some other forest. And they're getting up to go again. And the mouse is telling the lion, listen, please, let me do the talking. My voice is soft. That's what we need right now. Let me talk. The lion's finally like, okay, go on. And the mouse talks to the humans. The humans feel very comfortable. The mouse is like, sounding really humble and soft. And they get their deal. Unlimited food supply, exclusive access to forests across the world. Great. What I'm trying to say is that you might be a lion. You might be a great leader. You might be in a leadership position. You might have great experience, but that doesn't mean that you don't need a mouse, because nobody is too small in life. Okay. So you should always give control to people. Give freedom to them. So when we're talking about person X, maybe that person is a lion, maybe that person is a mouse, but nobody becomes too small. Okay. Give them control, give them freedom. If you're in your family, allow other people to take decisions, right? If you're at work, if you lead a team of people, be it in your college or at your workplace, give them control. Let them also take responsibility. Let them make decisions. Give them freedom. Because when you do that, people realize that you trust them, right? It's like if your boss gives you freedom, gives you the power to take responsibility, make decisions, you will feel what? Yeah, my boss trusts me. right? And that's how a better bond forms. Don't see anybody as being too small, right? They might have some really good ideas, or maybe that personality might work in that moment, like it did for the lion and the mouse, right? So again, think of person X. Are you giving them some kind of freedom, or are you keeping all the control to yourself? Are you acting like that lion, right? So think about it. Cool. And moving on to the next thing. This is called create a soft corner in the heart of others. Okay, I'll tell you what this is. Now, you know that two places in Japan were bombed, right? Many years ago. Do you know which were the two places? One was Nagasaki. Can anyone tell me which was the other place? Yeah, correct. It was Hiroshima, right? Two places were bombed. But the original plan was that the two places that will be bombed will be Nagasaki and Kyoto. Kyoto is another place in Japan. But the people who were planning that kind of attack, the decision makers, one of them had, spent his honeymoon in Kyoto. So he said, I just don't have the heart to bomb Kyoto. I have such good memories being there with my wife. So we pick another place, and they picked, as you know, Hiroshima. And it was sad. It was sad. A war is never good. But what I'm trying to say is sometimes when you create a soft corner in the heart of other people for yourself, okay, like you create a soft corner, they will be a little more biased to you, or maybe give you a first preference, or you might be their best choice. How do you do this? How do you create, say, anybody, maybe somebody in your building, okay? How do you create a soft corner in their heart for who? For yourself. Okay, so I'll share some techniques. You can even use it at your workplace. One technique is you reward achievement, which is, I'll give you an example. Like in some companies, when an employee, say, gives a very good presentation, okay, his senior or his boss gives him something, nothing of really high value, but something valuable in terms of, say, knowledge. So you give them a book with a note on it that, you gave an amazing presentation. So you start rewarding achievement of people, and people will remember that. They remember even after 10 years, like, oh, I remember I'd given that presentation and then my boss rewarded me for it. And you can even do that at a personal level. Maybe it's a classmate, okay? They do something really well. Maybe they do a great, I don't know, dance performance at an event, and you give them something, nothing too expensive, but something to create a soft corner. So one technique is rewarding and gifting, and people use that across companies, across personal friends, right? One technique is that. Second is you try to get to know what the person likes. It's called the speak extracurriculars method, right? So it's sometimes said that you should only focus on work, but I don't feel that you should only focus on work. Say you're working with somebody, your colleague, okay? Try to find out what are the things they like what are their hobbies, their interests, okay? I'll give you an example. Once one girl told her colleague that she's fond of football, okay, and her favorite team is Liverpool. Now, after literally 1 year, Liverpool was playing some Champions League and they won, okay. And this colleague remembered that, oh, my colleague is a fan of Liverpool team, and she got a small jersey and gifted it to her. And this girl was surprised, she was like, oh, you remembered? Like, when did I even tell you? I mean, I'm fond of Liverpool. So a lot of people who are in leadership positions, they remember what are your interests, your hobbies, and be it a year later, they'll come and give you something and you feel so special. It's like, maybe you've told some friend of yours that you like a chocolate brownie, okay? And one fine day, out of nowhere, it's raining and your friend has come to meet you, and she gets that exact same chocolate brownie from the place you like. You feel so special, right? Now you have formed a soft corner in your heart for her, right? So these are some techniques people use to create a soft corner in the heart of others. Again, think of person X. Can you do something to create a soft corner in his or her heart for you, because this person, as I said, is a person who is important in your day-to-day life. Okay, it's now before we proceed, I will just share two very opposing ideas, but I want you to be equipped with both the ideas. Okay, and both are opposing, both are contradictory. The first idea is caring for people. Okay, now my family is from the Indian Army. Okay, so my father-in-law has served in the Indian Army. So I hear a lot about how the military works and how it functions and everything. Now he tells me that the common thing between the military in any country, India, America, anywhere, what's that one common trait which every military person has, every soldier has? That trait is that no matter how emotionally exhausted a soldier is, or no matter how physically injured a soldier is, somehow he will always find the strength to get up and help his co-soldier, who's with him somehow. I'm sure you have even seen this or heard about this. I've heard places, instances where a soldier literally stepped on a mine, okay, a mine, and he could see his legs going off, but somehow he had the energy for literally 60 seconds to get up, pick up that detachable phone, and inform the station so they could tell the rest of his troop, the rest of his team, that there are mines on this patch of land, so be careful. So what I'm saying is, one idea is that you really have someone's back. You really support them no matter what. Maybe it's someone in your family. Maybe you're working as a team. You're at your workplace, and maybe you have a very difficult customer, difficult client. But if your team is together, you are having each other's back. You're like, no matter what, we are together. We will deal with this difficult customer. We will not throw each other under the fire. We're going to be there for each other. And that's what makes you feel safe, right? If you can do that for, say, your family. So no matter whatever problem your family is hit with, you know that you all are going to be together. And that's what matters. And that gives you so much of strength, right? Somehow you just get some invincible amount of strength. So one approach is having the back of your people, like being there for them no matter what, and really, really caring for them from your heart. Now, there's an opposing idea, which is totally opposite to this, which is cut off from people. No matter how nice a person, how honest and genuine a person you are, you might find people in your life who want you to fail, who want you to get hurt, who want you to drown. Sometimes the world is that way. They will drain you of your energy. And the truth is, they don't fit your mission. It's like a food item that doesn't suit your intestines. What do? You have to cut off from that food item, right? You might really like the taste of it, but it doesn't suit your body. So the doctor tells you, avoid this. You have an allergy to this. This is giving you an upset stomach, so cut off. And similarly in life, you might come across such people that you will have to cut off. So what do you choose? You choose caring for people or cutting off from people. Now, it depends. It depends on who person X is, right? If person X is someone who equally cares for you, who will have your back no matter what, then you have two ideas you can choose. And if person X is somebody who wants you to fail, wants you to get hurt, wants you to drown, and just doesn't support your mission, then you again have two opposing ideas you can choose from. Again, I said it depends on who person X is, right? So that's from me. I shared some strategies which you can use and try to build a better bond with people depending who that person is, who person X is. As I said, try collaborating, go from me to we, actively listen to that person, not just what they're saying, but the emotion on their face, the emotion in their voice. Try to create a soft corner in their heart if you can for yourself, and don't think of anybody as being too small, because you never know when you also need a mouse in your life. And equip yourself with these two ideas. One is really caring for people, and one is cutting off from people. See who the person is and make the choice, right? So that is from me. And I always say that you gave me right now 43 minutes. Your time is really valuable, and I want you to have a really good return on investment of the time that you've given me. So implement these techniques. If you remember two of them, great. See if you can implement them. See if you can build a better bond with people around you, because your life will be a little more easier. It will be a little less stress if you share good relations with people. Yeah. So that is from me. Do you all have any questions? We can discuss, we can open up the floor and share our thoughts on this topic of dealing with people, working with people as a team. Anybody wants to share thoughts, any questions? Let's speak. Let's open up the floor to everybody. Rimpa, you can turn on your camera and your audio.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi, Rimpa.
Thank you, ma'am, for such a wonderful session. And I appreciate like you give the tips how we care for the people, how we get to know that how they like or their hobbies. So my question to you, like, what are the common challenges people face in the balancing like work, life, and play?
Thank you, Priti, so much for your responses and for being so, I would say, enthusiastic through the session. So thanks for that, Priti. Okay, so you think what are the common challenges that people face in balancing work, life, and play, right? One challenge you might face is that people step over your boundaries in terms of some people like to have a boundary between their hours they dedicate for work, hours they dedicate for sleep, hours they dedicate for personal stuff like play and life. So one common challenge can be people from work might step into those boundaries, or people from your personal life might step into the other boundary. When you're working, there can be people from anybody. It can be a friend, it can be a relative, it can be somebody. So one challenge is always stepping boundaries. And what you can do about it, I think you should make it clear to people, okay, that how your boundaries are important to you. You need to speak up in a polite manner. There's no need to create a rant about it. Be it with someone in your personal space, you need to tell them how your work is important to you, how you value it, and they will understand that. So if you need X hours for your work, they'll make sure they keep disturbances low. Even kids are really smart. Like if they know their mom or dad is doing some work from home, like on a laptop, they're actually really smart. They understand that, okay, this time I can go and play by myself. Now the other way, what's tricky is telling your bosses or your CEOs about it, right? But I think it's important for, in a very polite fashion, to say that, you know what, I'll perform better at work if I can have my proper sleep, right? I mean, I'll perform better at work. And you also need to make it clear to them that you are responsible. Like, it's not that you will not complete your work, right? Which I remember this topic I spoke about, the lion and the mouse, which is some leaders, they don't keep all the control to themselves. So they literally tell the employees, like, okay, you've taken a sick leave, or okay, you're traveling, okay, you're on vacation, but I trust you fully that you will manage the work, or the work will be done. Like, they literally tell this to the employee. So the employee also feels that, yes, my boss, or my senior trusts me, and somehow you will appreciate that and you make time to do that work, right? It's not like you will ignore it or anything. So yeah, you should I think politely share it. Share that you respect your work, your life, your play. Share it in a polite fashion, and that is one common challenge which I have heard a lot. I have also myself faced it with always stepping boundaries. That's it. Yeah. Okay. Shraddhanjali is asking how to deal with office politics. Okay, that's a very good and common question. Any specific office politics? I mean, is it gossiping? Is it people throwing you in the fire? Is it anything specific? I'll be able to address it better.
It can be anything.
Okay, anything. Okay, so I'll again I spoke about two opposing ideas, right? So it depends on who is the person involved. And one is, if you, okay, so say you know your self-worth, right? You know what you're capable of. Sometimes there might be people who are speaking against you or just gossiping about you. And if you give too much attention to it, it will drain you of your talent and your skill and your time, okay? So sometimes you might sometimes have to ignore it, but sometimes you might have to address it. If it is creeping into your time or your talent, then you have to address it. I would suggest walk up to that person, maybe it's a colleague, and just tell them politely, just in all scenarios, keep your calm, keep your dignity, politely tell them that, I've been hearing something about this. If you have an issue with me, it's okay. You might have an issue. I'm not the best person. You might have an issue with me. Are you okay telling me what the issue is? We can address it together. Now, what happens when you do this? That person gets a jolt. I mean, they never expected, somebody walking up and telling you that, listen, if you have an issue with me, it's okay. Maybe it's valid. Tell me, can I improve myself? Maybe I can. And sometimes that melts the opposite person. So I would say politely walk up to that person and try to speak it out. Try to see, I mean, what's the issue, right? Try doing that. Sana says groupism among people. Sana, could you please elaborate?
Now, my question is,
Yeah.
when there's a lot of groupism among people and they left you alone or kind of being alone, making you feel alone, how to deal with it?
So probably they don't support you, because if they would have
Uh,
supported you, they would have been there with you, as I said, no
they
matter
would
what.
let me feel alone, or sometimes they just use me and then throw.
So, I spoke about the second opposing idea. Sometimes you have to see, however hard it is, you might have to cut off with people who want you to fail or feel alone. I think that's something. It's terrible if you want to make someone feel isolated, right? It's not good. I mean, why would you want to do that to someone? But some people do that. So it might be really hard to cut off with people, but I also had in my life. I had to cut off with some people who were really close to me because they made me feel miserable. Where sometimes as I said, on planet Earth, we need people. It's not like, oh, I'm the superwoman or superman, I'm going to do everything by myself. But how much ever you try, you see that instead of wanting to lift you up, support you, they are pulling you down, throwing you in the fire.
Yes,
Think
ma'am.
about it. Maybe you might have to cut off in if you want to move forward, right? Because then it sometimes just gets a loop. They leave you
But,
alone.
but
You
sometimes
feel
they're
alone.
the part of daily life.
That's why I said it is a very hard step, especially people who are part of your daily life. You have to think it through. It's not an overnight decision. You have to think it through because it's someone who is part of your daily life. But at what cost, right? Sometimes people are like, I'm okay living my life. Like, okay, that person is just there. That person is not there for me, but it's there a part of my life. Okay, I might greet that person. There are people who live under the same roof and, they don't speak to each other. They don't even greet, but they live in the same house. So you have to make that decision for yourself. It is a hard decision. I'm not saying it's an easy decision. It's not an
Yes, ma'am.
overnight decision, but yeah, I don't think anybody should stop you from feeling happy or for feeling good.
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you for the answer.
Thank you. I hope it helps. Some decisions are hard, Sana.
Really tough,
Think it
ma'am.
through.
Sometimes it's
Think
very
it is. It
difficult.
is. It is.
I'm very
I've gone through
insensitive
some.
to
It takes months and months, sometimes even years. But one final day, you have to decide for yourself, for your happiness, and for the happiness
yes,
of the
ma'am.
people who you care. Yeah. For Basha, right? Okay. How to deal with people who always make me feel that I can't do anything. They want to emphasize I am good for nothing. They always humiliate me. Okay, for Basha, one thing, no, always remember your self-worth is, I always say, is inherent. It is like always there. It doesn't depend on what anybody says. If someone says you're great, that doesn't mean your self-worth is great because your self-worth is already there. And if someone tells you you're good for nothing, that doesn't mean that you are good for nothing. Okay. So firstly, just know the fact that your self-worth or your potential is inherent. Like no matter who says what, even if they praise you or they make you feel like a good for nothing, you should have that kind of confidence in your potential. If you want to do something, I have the potential to do it. It might be a difficult thing, but I have the potential. One is knowing that. Okay. So then you won't get so much affected by people pulling you down. It will just be noise. There's so much noise, right? There's noise of a traffic passing by. So gradually you'll become detached to people controlling your moves. Okay, you control your moves. Go with that approach, then it wouldn't even affect you. So when it doesn't affect you, you don't feel the need to respond. They can say anything. Let them say you're good for nothing. How does it matter? Why should it change what you are trying to do? Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for the answer.
Thanks. I hope it helps. Anything else,
Yes, ma'am.
guys? Okay. Shraddhanjali, is it good to be straightforward? Is it good to be a straightforward person while working in a team where they tend to neglect the work deliberately? Yes, you should be straightforward and be polite. See, the opposite person might be crazy. You might find people at work who are crazy, but one thing I say is don't lose your when you're talking to somebody, don't lose your dignity. Speak in the most, you might have to try to do this, but speak in the most humble, polite fashion. No abuses. Don't show an inch of anger. Because remember, I told you active listening, people also pick up on your emotions. So if people think you're scared, they might change their moves. They might be like, oh, this person is scared. I can dominate this person more. So be very calm, cool, even if from within you feel like bursting out in the anger and saying, how can you not look at my work? So go up to them very politely, say that, I've been doing this work, I've been trying to showcase this work to you. I understand you're busy, okay? I understand, but can you just have a look at it and maybe I can learn something from you. Try to uplift them. But look at my work, see what inputs you can give me. Maybe you have some great inputs and I can maybe learn from them. So no matter if the person is crazy, sometimes you have to even lift them up. But yeah, be straightforward, but be straightforward in a very calm fashion. Don't lose your cool, right?
Thank you, ma'am.
Kushi, could you share it on audio with me? The chat, like I'm not able to see the complete question. Kushi, are you there?
Yes, ma'am, I can share.
Hi, Kushi. Could you please
Uh,
share? Yes, tell me.
yes, ma'am, my question is that some people, like if someone more known to you or more closer to you tries to put you down in one way or other, you know that you have not done that thing or you are not wrong there, but still they gaslight you and you are convinced with their opinions that you must have done something. So, how to deal with this kind of situation?
Okay. So, could you first thing I mentioned, right? This is a personality trait that we all try to develop, which I even told Basha, which is knowing your self-worth and your potential is inherent. Like, no matter who tells me what, if they try to tell me that whatever, like I'm a good for nothing or making me feel useless, fine. And at the other side, someone tries to praise me and says, wow, you're the best and you're so good. Okay, fine. But as a trait, you need to know what you're capable of. You need to know your value system. And your self worth doesn't depend on what others tell you, right? Like, as I said, you won't care if someone is honking outside in like the other lane, right? You have to kind of build that kind of a trait that, okay, I know my potential, I know my self worth. So the first step is if someone is trying to like really put you down or always criticizing you, gaslighting you, the first thing is you have that strength within you because you realize what you are capable of. Okay.
Yes,
Second
ma'am.
thing is, okay, you've heard what they said. Think about it. Think about it. Is it gaslighting or is it? Sometimes some people give genuine tips to improve, and sometimes people want. They are low on self-esteem, self-worth. So how do they get it? They put others down. It's a stupid technique. Yeah. So think about it. Is this person saying anything genuine? Like, if I do this, will it help me? Like, really, will it help me in my life or in my career or in my health? Or this person sadly suffers from low self-worth themselves. And just to feel good about themselves, they pick out different individuals. Sadly, this time they picked me and they're putting me down, right? So dive a little deeper into it and analyze it. If it's something where they are suffering from other issues, I mean, in your mind, just wish bless them. That's all you can do, and don't pay heed to it. But if you feel like if I try this, will it help me in any way? Then go ahead, try to bring that change in yourself, right? But always remember your self-worth doesn't depend on no matter who says what. Like become that kind of it's called iron strong as iron, right? And
Yes,
it might be the closest person to you, but your voice should be the loudest, like to boost you.
ma'am, but still, after knowing what I am worth of, but still some people, like one of my closest friend tries that, and in that situation I feel that why always me, why always I get why she do this always to me, don't know why, but it
Christian,
feels like.
what if I ask you, what if you're allowing her to do that? Like, what if sometimes we just allow people to walk over us, right? So they have nobody else to walk over. So, who, hey, Kushi, I need to feel superior today. Who should I put down? Kushi. So sometimes you have to, as I said, maybe cut off at least to a certain extent, or if it's a close friend, I'm sure you can honestly talk to her. Like, if it's a close friend, you can honestly have a conversation and say that, why are you saying such hurtful things? Like, are you doing okay? Are you facing some issues? Because what I know is that when people say such hurtful things, they're facing with certain issues themselves. Can I help you? Yeah, ask your friend that. And it will again come as a jolt to her.
I got your point, but in front of asking कि मैंने उससे पूछा कि ऐसा क्यों, तो she replies आगे से कि तेरे भले के लिए ही I am telling you, do this thing in that way, do this in
Then
that
say thank
way.
you. Thank you for thinking about being my well-wisher. Thank you for thinking about me. But I think I'm adult enough to take my own decision. And if it's something that you feel can work for you, great. But I feel you have already thought that no, this whatever feedback you're getting is not good for you, then don't implement it, right? Tell her, thank you for thinking about me, but I am adult enough, and I'm sorry, I don't think I'll be proceeding with this. Because at the end of the day, your happiness matters a lot. You, even if it's a close friend, nobody can constantly put you down, and if they're doing that, maybe you're allowing them to do it. So you might have to take a step back. Maybe, as I said, cutting off is not an easy decision, but sometimes you have to think and choose for yourself. If it's hampering your day after day after day after day, sometimes you have to put a stop to it.
Fine, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you and good luck. As I said, start of the session, I know we're time up, but three tricky things we deal in life: weather, money, and people. People is a tricky concept, but one, have your self-worth. No matter who says what, come on, you at least need to be there for yourself. You have to have your back, okay? And second, you have to use these different techniques and strategies, right? Cool. So I hope this was helpful, and stay happy, be at least confident about yourself. And in life, there are people who really love you, who have your back. Be there for them, right? And cherish those bonds, be it in your family, in friends, workplace, whoever really is there for you. Cherish that, be grateful to them. Yeah. So thank you so much, guys, for staying with me for 60 minutes. And you guys were fantastic. I love that we spoke on these heavy, tricky discussions. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you, SEMS Welfare Foundation, for doing this.
Welcome, ma'am. And once again, I want to thank you for being here today and leave your pleasure. But we have two more questions from our participants. Can I proceed with your permission?
Of course.
Yes. The first one is, how do we deal with those people who are full of themselves? Like, they are very arrogant, they think they are perfect, so they don't want to listen to us. They feel like they're in the top.
See, they will anyways not listen to us. So I wouldn't say try to break your head trying to convince them. As per spirituality, it's said that if you're too proud or if you're too arrogant, someday you will have a downfall. I would say probably they are not spiritually enlightened yet. And till the day they get the realization that they are being too arrogant, till then they will not anyways listen to you. So I wouldn't suggest wasting your time, breaking your head. You just pray for them, bless them. Maybe they find their realization soon. Yeah, you cannot sometimes break your head on a wall. So
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. The
can
other
we?
question,
Yeah, please. You had one more question.
yes. How do we create, you spoke about soft corners. So how do we create a soft corner in someone who just want to work and doesn't want to make friends or hang out with their coworkers?
Yeah, so I shared some techniques. So one technique is speak extracurricular method. Okay. As I said, maybe they don't want to speak a lot. So you have to try It's almost like sometimes you have to become a detective and try to understand what are their personal interests. Now, maybe there's someone who don't speak, right? So if you go up to them and be like, hey, okay, what are your interests? Did you watch the match? Maybe they don't respond, right? Because you're saying there's such people. See their desk. Do they have a plant? Do they have a photo of something? Do they have different type of stationery? Okay. Try to gauge what is their interest. Like literally be a detective and observe them. Or do they love wearing some kind of nail color or some brand? Maybe they're using a chapstick. Okay. Now you take that as a cue. And whenever there's some occasion, I'm not saying spend a bomb, no, but spend a little. Maybe you just get that same chapstick. Maybe it's Christmas or whatever occasion. Maybe it's that person's birthday. You know, sometimes they announce there's a calendar. You can actually see whose birthday is when. Or maybe they did something great. As I said, maybe they gave a fabulous presentation. Next day, give them that chapstick. Something small or a small plant. See their desk. As I said, maybe they like stationery. Give them some nice, interesting stationery item. This person will remember you. And all the more because this person doesn't even speak to you well, right? So it will make that person feel surprised and special. A lot of leaders use this technique. It's a very common technique. You become a detective, gauge their personal interest. Third is get into rewarding or gifting. And I know we're over time. Just one quick thing. Sometimes you have to truly do it from your heart. Okay. Like once there was an employee who was sick for 15 days. Okay. So his colleague called up this employee's wife and said that, I wanted to call and ask, how are you doing? Because I know both of you, it's only two of you staying in a house and there might be a lot of, now you're the primary caregiver, a lot of pressure on you. I just want to ask, how are you doing? Do you need some help? It came from the heart, okay? And this employee was like so touched that, wow, somebody called my wife and asked her, how are you doing? I'm the one who's sick. She's taking care of me, but asked, and it was a genuine intent. You truly just wanted to wish them well, right? So either rewarding, gifting, truly wanting to wish someone well will create a soft corner in the other person's heart for you. Try it and see. Cool. So good. Get on to this week and try to get some person X and try these techniques on them. See how it works. All right. Can we go for a quick photo? Quick photo with cameras on. Super. Okay. We do this funny thing. Maria, give me one movement and we'll all make that movement. And Binay, give me one sound. Okay, so our movement is this, everybody. And Binay, give us a sound. So like our face expression is somewhat synced. What sound do we make?
Like hooray type.
Okay, hooray. Okay, but like with a lot of energy, right? Okay, so let's
Yes.
go for it, guys. Okay, let's scream. Hooray! Okay, thank you so much, guys, for this. Thanks a lot. You guys have been really enthusiastic. I can see some people just laughing and not stopping. Akansha. Okay, cool. Thank you so much, guys. I'll take your leave. Thanks so much. Take care.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Bye. Bye. Thank
So much.